What's up, you guys? Matt Jablonski here with the Point of Change. Good morning. Happy Saturday. Welcome to the weekend. Hope you guys had a good week or got through it the best you can anyways. If you're not watching this live, drop a hashtag replay in the comments so I know you're watching. If you are watching live, come on in, throw some hearts up, throw some thumbs up, make a comment, let me know where you're watching from. Share this video out if you don't mind. That always helps the page here. This morning we're just going to hang out and have some Saturday vibes here, talk for a little while. Back is bugging me today. My back is bugging me just a little bit. Let me get this live video pulled up over here and make sure everything's working like it should. There we go. Seems to be broadcasting. Hopefully that's not too loud. There we go. Good to see Zuckerberg's turning those wheels. Everything's working. That's good. What's up, you guys? Come on in. See those hearts coming up. Hey, Josh and Lori are here. What's up, guys? Good to see you guys. Oh, my back's hurting a little bit this morning. Kind of chilling out around the house. I got the doggies fed. We're going to go for a little walk around town here shortly, but I thought I'd come up here. It's 10 a.m., so time to talk with you guys. If you didn't know, tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. Central, Jesse Crossan will be here. Jesse Crossan is a TikToker. He's also on Facebook, so if you want to look him up, go right ahead. Jesse Crossan is one page, and Jesse Crossan Second Chancer. Jesse went to prison for 19 years. And now he's out, and he works for prison reform and works for re-entry programs and things like that to create better opportunities for ex-convicts. So I think it's going to be an awesome conversation. I don't know a lot about the guy other than I've seen his videos online. I've seen what he does. I've seen that he's putting in action. And I'm all about making change, man. That's what I'm all about. So I reached out to him and he said he'd love to come on here and share his story. So that's going to be awesome, man. The Point of Change Meets is back every Sunday night at 7 p.m. Central, or most Sunday nights at 7 p.m. Central. We're going to have a guest coming on to share their story of addiction, recovery, or just anything they overcame and helping other people, pushing forward. So yeah, Jesse's coming on to continue that series, and I love the Point of Change Meets because it's literally that. It's me meeting somebody. You know, it's somebody new that I've never talked to before, and I get to hear their story of whatever they've overcome in their life. You know, and it's and it is exactly that. It's me meeting this person. I come up with a few questions beforehand, but most of the questions are come up with on the spot as I'm talking to this person and just kind of introducing ourselves and getting to know each other. You know. What's up, Angie? Throwing some tags on the board. April, good morning. Guys, make sure you hit those hearts. Throw some hearts up on this video. Reactions help the page grow. So I really appreciate hearts, thumbs ups, care emojis, all those positive reactions down there. Hit them all and send them up. Thank you, Angie. Appreciate you tagging all the misfits there. You guys see Angie's cool supporter badge there. If anybody's looking to become a supporter, today we're going to try to get together. Me and the supporters are going to try to get together on our own live video over in the supporter group. And we're going to sit together and go over Jesse's page and look at some of his posts, and we're going to come up with some questions for him today. So if anybody wants to become a supporter, if you feel like you want to be involved in that, go ahead and click that little green badge at the bottom of the screen there and sign up to be a monthly supporter. It's $4.99 a month to become a supporter. You get access to this closed group where we talk about the goings on behind the scenes. It's not for anybody. I shouldn't say it's not for you. If you're new here, this is really probably not up your alley. You know, there's no obligation for anyone to sign up at all, no matter how long you've been here. But for those of you who have been here for a while and you've benefited from this page and you agree with my message and you appreciate my way of recovery, and if you want to help me out in some way, that's a great way to do it. Sign up to be a supporter. How's it going out there, everybody? Anybody got anything on your mind? What do you got going on this Saturday? Let me know in the comments. Give me a good morning. Something like that is great. April, good to see you. Deborah Ramirez is here. What's up, Deborah? How are you? Josh, we have a Christmas party today at Lori's Aunt Amy's house for that side of the family. Right on. That's cool, man. I've heard a lot of people that do that get together in late January for their Christmas. After the hustle and bustle is over, you can all get together, and that's a really good idea, really. Gosh, then we are done until next year with Christmas. That isn't anyways. Done with Christmases, huh? Good. My mom, I believe, is going to be trying to do like a Christmas in July for our family this year. She's kind of got that same mindset that she doesn't really want to deal with the trying to coordinate during the holidays. It gets really complicated, especially later on in life, because everybody's got their own families now. We all, all my brothers got their own houses and their own families, and we're all kind of spread out a little ways and we're doing our own thing. So it gets like, okay, so whose house are we going to for Christmas? How many Christmases are we going to attend each year? So getting together for the holidays really can become a complicated thing, So my mom is trying to step away from all of that chaos and just have her Christmas in July. And I can appreciate that move. That's for sure. Angie, I'm doing a whole lot of nothing. Right on. Caitlin's at school today. I'm going to get the house cleaned up and run the vacuum cleaner and hang out with the dogs. I do want to get outside and look at my car and get under there and see exactly which ball joints I need to replace. Maybe either get the tools ordered or get the ball joints ordered so I can get my car back up and running. That car. That's what I get. I don't mind tinkering on stuff, I kind of like a project, but sucks when your project is your transportation. You know what I'm saying? Kind of a pain in the ass. Josh, yes, it does. When you have a bunch of out-of-towners. Yeah, we're all kind of spread out and trying to coordinate everything and whose house you're going to stay at when you come home for Christmas, and just everything about it is a little complicated, Sean, morning, Maddie and family, 11 months this past 18th. Right on, bro. Congratulations, Sean. Guys, throw some hearts up for Sean on that one. Good work, bro. Stay active, man. Keep it moving. 11 months coming up on that 1 year mark. Don't take it for granted. Work each day. Each day rent is due here in recovery. So put in the effort and keep earning this beautiful life, because it's amazing. I always tell people, just try not to, don't get overwhelmed by the milestones that are coming up sometimes, because emotions, whether they're good or bad, a lot of emotions becomes overwhelming. So even when you're facing a lot of really good emotions, you're really proud of yourself, and you're kind of the pressures of family, they're all kind of feels like all eyes are on you and stuff. And there is that pressure that comes with those milestones, but try not to focus on that. And just remember that it's just another day. We take this one day at a time. Do the thing that you did, do the stuff that's making you live a better life, and don't let up on it, and you'll make it to that day, and you'll make it beyond there. Brandy, hello, Brandy. Almost 4 months no smoking. I can't believe I got this far. Right on, Brandy. That's awesome. Angie, Shanti, congratulations. Hello, Deborah. How are you? Oh, Deborah was saying hello to Brandy. See, it didn't show me it was a reply. So I thought you were talking to me. But that's okay. Hi. I'll say hi anyways. I'll always say hi. Something that's been on my mind this morning. Well, it's been on my mind a lot lately, but it's something that's been on my mind this morning anyways, especially, is friends from active addiction. We always throw those quotes around, the old friends we had. Kind of not reminiscing on addiction or anything, but reminiscing on those people, and kind of, in a way, moving into forgiveness with some of it. I feel like in recovery sometimes we get, what can I say? We look at those old relationships we had in our active addiction, right? And most of them, good majority of them, especially if you were like me and you were like a party animal in your addiction, you were here, there, everywhere, hanging out with 1,000 people all the time. You had a lot of acquaintances, and you did have a lot of those friends. They were people that you just hung out with to get high, and that was all that you did together, was go on runs and get high. But I guess I kind of recently started looking at those relationships with a little more of an empathetic heart, and looking at them in the light of not so much the victim mentality in it, because sometimes I can see, like, in that existing a victim mentality, that these people hurt me, these people wronged me, they screwed me over, they did this, they did that. And kind of realizing that they didn't do anything to me that I didn't ask them to do. You know, I wanted to party. I wanted to get high. I wanted to do drugs. You know, I wanted that criminal lifestyle. So in a lot of ways, I brought, you know, some of them stole from me. Some of them lied to me. Some of them ripped me off on drug deals. Some of them slept with my girlfriends back in the day. But that's part of that lifestyle. You know, I can't hate the player, hate the game. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was not cool of them to do those things to me. And I'm not trying to defend them too much. But what I am trying to say is I'm looking at it recently with more of an empathetic heart and seeing that, you know, it was, you get what you give and you reap what you sow. And those were the seeds that I was sowing, seeds of mistrust and seeds of dishonesty and seeds of drugs and seeds of crime and all that. So when I was getting it back, you know, it hits you like you're the victim in the thing, but really I was putting in just as much evil as they were putting in, you know. And yeah, there's a lot of the people that I, you know, whatever, you know, I didn't know them, didn't know their families, didn't have a lot of close conversations with them or anything like that. They were more acquaintances, people who came into my life and did drugs with me and then they were gone. But there was a lot of people that we really did have some good times. And I really did know their families. And they really did help me out in times. And sometimes I think they get corralled into that friends group. You know, it gets so easy to look back at our active addiction and just corral all of the people that we talked to in those 10, 12, 15, 20 years of your life, whatever it was. And we just corral all of those people that we talked to into the group of fake friends, you know? And I guess the thing that made it all become so real to me recently was when one of my friends, who actually did have some good memories with that dude and spent a lot of years hanging out with him, and he took his own life. And I guess when a person passes away, you really take time and remember them and remember the memories that you had with that person. And it's kind of hit me in the heart of realizing, like, I had corralled him because we did drugs together. I had corralled him into that group of people that were just my friends, you know, and I lost touch with him and stopped talking to him and, you know, and was protecting my recovery in ways, of course, because we can't associate with people who are not ready to step away from that lifestyle, because you don't, you know, when you have a relationship, you wear off on each other. And you have to make sure the right things are wearing off. You know, if you're hanging out with somebody who's still in an active addiction, are you going to help them into recovery, or are they going to pull you back into active addiction? Most times I say that it's better off not risking that, you know, and you're better off just cutting ties with those people. But sometimes I just think maybe a message of hope wouldn't hurt. You know, that we don't have to put ourselves back into a shitty situation, that's for sure. But what would be the harm in shooting a Facebook message to some of those friends that were on the border? You know, yeah, we used a lot of drugs with them, but we actually knew them and they actually did help us out and they actually were there for us quite a few times, you know, and we just kind of walk away from all of them. And what would it hurt to just shoot a message, you know, and just say, hey man, just kind of thinking about all those times we used to hang out and just wanted to let you know, I love you. I miss you. I hope you're doing good. If you need anything, reach out, man. You know, I can't help you in any, you know, with everything, but if you ever want to get clean, if you ever need somebody to talk to about this shit, you know, I did that shit, you know, so if you ever want to get away from it, man, just hit me up. You know, I can't promise we can pull it off, but I can talk to you, you know, I mean, yeah. Just kind of a thought that's been rattling in the old brain and I've done it a few times now. I haven't gotten any responses from any of the people I sent messages to, but since my buddy did that, since he took his own life, when that happens, all of a sudden, like you had all these people corralled into this group of, they were just my friends, they were using buddies, they were people that I talked to in my active addiction, and we corral them all together into that. And then when one of them dies, all of a sudden it becomes real hard to say, you're not going to go to their funeral and be like, oh, well, he was just my friend. He was that guy. We didn't really talk, when actually you spent years together, you hung out overnighters and did a lot of stupid shit together, but you were together, and that was as close to a relationship as we could handle back in them days. Nobody was in the right mindset. You weren't, they weren't, nobody was. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying risk any, don't put yourself at risk over it, but what's the harm in shooting a message to one of those people and standing firm on your bridge of recovery and extending a rope of love down into the river of addiction, making sure you got a good foothold on your own life and making sure, because you don't want to, because they might just hit you back and be like, ha ha, fuck you, bro. I'm getting high right now, or try and sell you drugs. Or, worst case scenario, that's what could happen, is that plausible and possible? Is that gonna happen? Probably not. If you just shot a message to one of them, I'm not saying that, you guys know what I'm saying. You guys know what I'm saying. There was people that we hung out with in our active addiction who are still out there running and gunning, who we corralled into the friends group, who actually don't really deserve that, who actually were friends and who actually were pretty cool. And they're still a good person underneath it. Yeah, they're going the wrong way. Yeah, they're a wayward, lost soul, that's for sure. There's no denying that. But hurt people, and I guess I've had a lot of people in my past that they ripped me off and stole from me and banged my old lady back in the day and stuff like that. But I can't even hold that against them anymore, because that was just me reaping what I was sowing. I was putting out evil. I was doing bad. Of course, bad things were happening to me. Of course, people were doing those things to me. What did you expect? So just looking at the world through the lens of love. Just looking at the world through the lens of love and seeing that they did those things because they were hurting too. And they didn't know what love was. And they didn't know what friendship was. Neither did I, But to the best of our capacity, we were there for each other. To the best of our capacity, we were there for each other. I've always had that when you look at an addict getting another addict high, in recovery, we look at that as such an evil thing, especially when they relapse each other. When you have an addict who is trying to get clean, and then you have an addict who's still stuck in the active addiction, and they, the active addict gets the dude who's trying to get in recovery high, or gives somebody drugs or something like that. I always look at it we always look at that in such a negative viewpoint. But if we look at that in the lens of love too, and you look at it as, when a person is in their active addiction, like drugs hold the same place in your heart as love and as friendship and as food and as it's the thing, man. It's the thing that it's your favorite thing in the world and it makes you feel great and blah, 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 blah. So when you look at a person who thinks of anything in that sense, and then of course they give it to other people, and especially of course they give it to other people who want that thing too, of course that's what they do. In their full capacity, drugs have become love. Drugs have become an expression of their love as well. So why do addicts relapse other addicts? Well, because that's the only way they know how to show love, bro. They don't understand the terms of love that we understand in recovery, or those of us who are non-addicts understand, how you actually support someone and how you actually love them. To them, giving you drugs is, not only are they giving away something that they truly freaking really want and love and need themselves, and they're giving it to you. So for them, that's a sacrifice they're taking, and they're giving you some of their drugs, and for them, for why they're giving it to you, because they know in their mind, this is the thing that fixes what you're hurting, you're sad, you're whatever, this is the thing that takes that away. So I want to give it to you, so it's not as terrible as we paint it. We paint drug addicts and we paint drug dealers in this light of just negativity and despair, and that they're evil and that they're trying to hurt each other and they're trying to kill people and stuff, when in a lot of ways, the bad guy never thinks he's the bad guy. The bad guy doesn't see the bad, or maybe they see it, but this is the ends or justifies what it means, or it's the way they express their love, or a lot of drug dealers, it's they're at the end of their ropes and they don't know how else to make a living, and they don't know how to support their family, and they don't know how to pay their bills, and they sell drugs because it's the only fucking thing they've ever known. It's when you start looking at addicts with a lens of love, you can start to see a lot more why. You start to realize a lot more of I get it. That's just how they're programmed. It's how they're seeing the world. So that's kind of my mission lately, in some ways, has been to reach out to some of them people that I used to use with, and I'm not going to their house, not putting myself in a dangerous situation. I'm not going to say yes if they offer me drugs, but I'm just shooting them messages on Facebook and saying, hey, bro, remember all those times we used to fucking drive down the dirt roads and do stupid shit? I just wanted to reach out and tell you I love you, I miss you, hope you're doing good. If you're not, hit me up, man, let's talk, because you never know, you could save a life. And a lot of those friends that we had back in our active addiction, they're good fucking people. They're really good people. They're cool, and they have hearts. They are somebody's brother, mother, sister, father, uncle, all that. They have a family. They're another person, and they deserve love, and they deserve a shot at this, and sometimes I think, from an active addict's perspective, looking at us, I can see how they would feel like we think we're better than them, or, and I can see that. I understand that it's not true, but I can see how they get that interpretation of what we're doing. Because we do cool shit, okay? Recovering addicts do amazing things. We go on vacations. We have badass jobs. We're helping our family. We're supporting people. We're going to cool events. We're going to concerts. We're going to the beach. We're climbing mountains and jumping out of planes and celebrating. And we got a whole new friends and family. Like, we do cool shit. So from the perspective of someone who's still stuck in that old lifestyle, and they see you, someone who they used to use with, doing all these cool things. Now, in my mindset, when I was in an active addiction, I thought anybody that was saying they're in recovery, they were full of shit. That was my perspective on it. Was like, no, you can't, for real, they're probably fucking around behind the closed doors, because I didn't think I could do that, so I had that cocked eyebrow of just, nah, there ain't no way they're actually quit, so you get that mindset of seeing that stuff, and it gives them this, you think you're better than me, you think you're cooler than me, you think, look at you over there posting your Hawaiian vacation, oh, and I'm over here still on that same busted ass couch smoking meth still, you think you're better than me. And in a lot of ways, I just want to extend those ropes of love to those people, and I want them to know, because the shitty end of it is, if they see me in that light, do you really think they're going to reach out to me when shit hits the fan? When they actually do start to think about getting clean, if they think of me in that light, they're not going to message me. So in some way, shape, form, I want to try and make sure that I'm still accessible, that I'm still down to earth enough that they still feel comfortable reaching out to me, because everybody's eventually going to use for the last time. It's just some of us are lucky enough to live through it and be able to talk about it, and I know my old using buddies got people to call if they want to get high. They got 10, 15, 20 people they can message if they want to get high. I want to make sure they still know they can message me if they want to get clean. You know, like if you ever do start having those thoughts, like you can message me anytime. You can message me right after you got high, you know, and like I'm good, you know, I'm doing good. So I'm more than willing to talk to somebody who ain't good, you know, and give you some advice so that maybe, just maybe, you can fucking pull yourself out of that rut and start working towards this awesome life, you know? And it, you know, but they have to be willing to work. They have to be willing to do everything to change it, because if a relationship is created between a person in recovery and a person in active addiction, it's either they're going to start changing or it has to stop. You know, like the other options of where that relationship goes can't happen. You know, like if their active addiction starts to try to play into your recovery, that can't happen. We can't allow that. So then the walls have to go back up and the relationship has to be cut off. But if they try to stay in their active addiction and you stay in your recovery and you try and have a coexisting relationship, it's gonna turn into them thinking that you think you're hoity-toity real freaking quick. Or it's going to turn into a very shallow relationship where you don't talk about anything that you actually do, because they will instantly feel judged and like you're freaking riding your high horse, you know, telling them about how you went to a meeting and telling them about, you know, your buddies in recovery. You're talking about how you went to another cool restaurant, or talk about how you're going on vacation, or talk about how you're buying a house, or talk about how you got your license back. Any of the things we talk about to someone who's not working on themselves looks like we're up on our high horse and we're trying to judge them and we think we're better than them, you know? So the relationship's just bound to fail unless they actually start to work on it, you know? So yeah, it's just a hard road to walk. It's a hard road to walk. The farther you get into recovery, for me anyways, for me, speaking for myself, the farther I make it into recovery, the more out of touch I feel with active addiction, which is awesome. But on a whole nother level of, I still want to help those people, it kind of sucks, because I'm coming up on 6 years of this recovery life. Like, it feels like so long ago that I was getting high and running and gunning and doing all those terrible things. I know objects in the mirror are closer than they appear, so make sure you're staying on your toes, right? But it's hard for me to relate anymore. Sometimes I should say, because when I do get those messages from people in their active addiction, and they reach out to me for help, like it's crazy how quickly you can go, oh wow, I remember feeling those feelings. And sometimes it's such a good reminder too, because especially it's like people when they're really hurting, especially talented people who are well written and well spoken, when they're really hurting and they're in that struggle place, they have such an amazing way with their words. I mean, you look at active musicians and singers and songwriters who were in an active addiction while they were famous, for instance, like Linkin Park, and that's the only one that comes to my mind right away. But you look at some of the active addicts who were famous celebrity singers and stuff, and some of the words and the way they describe their pain and the way they describe their hurting and the way they describe their feelings on the inside is like absolutely beautiful. You know, I think I lost signal. I think I just lost signal. What happened? Come back, internet. Come back, Zuckerberg. Be back out for just a second. Ouch. Now glitching? Oh, man. Oh, can you see me yet? Can you hear me? Can you hear the words that are coming out of my mouth? Hello. All right, we're back. I think it's working. Is it working? Good. I hope it's working. Kimberly, always remember your last drunk or high. Helping newcomers does that for us. Amen. Amen. And when I talk to people who are either still in their active addiction or people who are in early recovery and they ask for help and stuff, hearing what they're going through is always such a good freaking reminder, You know, it's a good reminder. I wouldn't call it a trigger. It's just a good reminder, because I've been, like I said, I've been in this game for almost 6 years here, and it those memories seem so far away anymore. They really do. And I'm very happy for that. I'm very thankful for that. But I'm also very thankful for those reminders, because it's like, I'm so glad that I don't think that way anymore. I'm so glad that I don't have those struggles anymore. Like, I can't be specific on this, because anybody that messages me, like, I'm not going to tell anybody who messages me, you know, and I don't want to say too much and have anybody be able to figure out who I'm talking about. So I have to be very careful in what I say. But I've talked to people in their end of their addiction, who still have victim mentality, for instance. And that is it's a good reminder of some of the personal defects or character, some of the character defects that we've overcome in our recovery, because there is so many tiny little changes that we've made throughout recovery. And when you become open, you know, when you're open and you are fertile soil, right? You have decided, okay, the way I've been living is wrong. I need to take advice. I need to accept advice. I need people to help me so that I can find a good way to live life. You become fertile soil, right? You are opening up and you're allowing people to help you and give you advice. It happens pretty quickly, but it happens so gradually at the same time, because now that you're open and you're fertile soil, like, all of these seeds that people are saying to you, don't just, oh, wow, that's a cool little saying, throw it over your fate. You know, like, if you're not completely open and ready to accept those things, it can be one of those situations where people can tell you, you know, hey, one day at a time, this, that, throw all these beautiful pearls of wisdom on you, and you just go, oh, wow, that's a really cool saying. It's gone. Oh, wow, that's a really cool saying. Oh, wow, that's a really good idea. You know, and we're just throwing them. Whereas if you are truly open and you are ready to make these changes, it's like, every time you go to a meeting, everything you read in the book, everything you see on, you know, recovery things, everything you see, we're like grabbing it and shoving it right in and putting it into practice in our life. We're like, yep, that sounds cool. Boom, it's working. Boom. All right, grab me that one. Yep, putting that one right here. All right, cool. We're going to apply that to my life. And you can really quickly forget about all these things you've done and forget that, oh, wow, I used to think that way, you know, because it's like, you'll say something like blaming somebody else for something that you went through, and somebody else in the meeting or somebody else in recovery goes, bro, that's that victim mentality shit though, because if you wouldn't have put yourself in that situation, you wouldn't have been dealing with that person. So that wasn't actually their fault. That was your fault because you put yourself in there, you know. And all of a sudden you go, wow. Oh, wow, that's so true. And now just in that moment, that little synapse in your brain has been changed. And now you don't think about, you know, your victim mentality shifts. And all of a sudden, every other situation that you come across in your brain, you start to apply that. You start to go, oh, wow, no, that one was my fault too. Holy crap, that one was my fault too. And now you've let go of that victim mentality. So it's like, as you move through life, you're accepting your own faults. And in fact, we're accepting the fault when sometimes it's not our fault, because we're like, nah, that was my bad. I shouldn't have been there. Like, you ever have somebody bump into you and they're like, and you're like, oh, sorry. And they're like, oh, you're sorry. I'm sorry. I bumped into you. And you're like, nah, it was my bad. I shouldn't have been standing there. That was totally me. You know, like, we're willing to accept we're going to accept the fault now, because we're not going to fall back into that victim mentality, you know? But that's awesome that happens. But it's so, because our mind has been shifted so dramatically, like, we don't even realize, like, and sometimes you hear somebody else reaches out to you with a situation or something they're going through. And it's like, wow, I can't believe you don't see that you're not the victim in this. I can't believe that you don't see that you created this situation, you know. But it's because they haven't had that mindgasm yet and realized that we are the source of all our problems. We are the source of all of this happening. All those pressures, all that stuff that you feel comes from the outside world of, you know, oh, this is what people expect of me and I got to perform to this, and all of that is pressures that we're creating in our minds and putting on ourselves. And we're trying to meet expectations that other people might not even have, but we just create this thing and just go, 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 go. So I guess, where was I going with all of that? Be thankful for where you are. Be thankful for where you are, but don't forget that we were there too. And just be a little more loving of our past. A little more loving of our past. Don't allow these new things that we learn in recovery to destroy what was good too. Because yeah, like a lot of those people we hung out with weren't worth a shit, and we were never going to talk to them again, and they didn't really have an effect on our life at all. But there was a few people maybe that you hung out with in your active addiction that are still out there running and gunning, that they don't deserve to be corralled in with the friends, with the people that didn't help you at all and that were just throwaway people that you just used drugs with. And then we accidentally, almost not accidentally, but involuntarily, we just kind of rope everybody that we used to use with into that frickin' corral. And some of those people were actually pretty cool and deserve to hear from you and deserve you to say, hey man, I think I love you and I miss you and I hope the best for you. And if you ever need somebody to talk to, you can reach out to me. Some of them still deserve a hand up in this world, so don't allow the recovery brain to take over so much that it starts to delete things that weren't necessary, or create this distorted view of people that actually did care and actually were there for you for years, and yeah. It doesn't hurt to shoot a Facebook message to somebody you used to, that actually meant something to you from your active addiction. Don't go to their house. Don't put yourself in a stupid situation, and don't jeopardize your recovery. If you don't feel that you're strong enough in your recovery to say no to drugs, then don't do it. But if you're at a place where you're comfortable with your recovery and hell, shoot them a message, say, hey man, miss you, love you, thinking about all those times we used to fucking hang out, hope the best for you. If you ever need help, get a hold of me, man. Just want you to know, if you ever want to get clean, I got your back, like something like that. What could it hurt? Hell, might save a life. Honestly, if I had done that a little more, probably would have saved some lives, and I'm trying to make sure I'm staying proactive and keeping myself in check, but also just trying to make sure that I'm lighting those torches behind me and making sure that people know they can follow them too, that, hey, it's okay to follow these, Let me read some comments here. Mary, love to all, just woke up, got to get ready and hop in the shower. God bless and keeps us all. Amen, Mary. Have a good day. Brandon, how are you? Mike shared it. Right on, Mike. Appreciate it. Just made it. God bless you all. God bless you, Mike. Good to see you. And Mike Denbo, good to see you, bro. Thanks for being here. Brandy, you're back. Yeah, the stupid Facebook froze up on us for a minute there. And I tell you what. Let's see. Melissa, I'll have to catch a replay. Zuck is crashing my app today. Oh, dang it. Dang you, Zuckerberg. Joanne, good morning, Maddie. Me and my recovery crew are headed to a work day to prepare the house for move-in. Right on, Joanne. That's awesome. That's exciting stuff. Angie, they didn't understand why I had to walk away from them. It was painful. Amen. Amen, dude. Like, that's one thing that gets downplayed in recovery as well. Something that we say it so offhandedly, that you got to cut ties with the people you used to use with. And we just say it so like, yeah, well, got to cut them off, man. Block, ban and delete, and we say it just so like it's whatever, just cut them off. And we don't acknowledge enough the grieving process that comes with that. And that this is not a fun, cool thing to do when we block, ban, and delete people from our lives, that it's not an easy process, that it does hurt, that you miss those people, that Like, and it's gonna drag, it's not just gonna be oh, so glad they're out of my life, so I don't have, so I don't have that temptation anymore. It's freaking crying over it. It's freaking missing them. It's wanting to hear their voice again because of this stupid differences in your lives, but it's not, I shouldn't say it because of stupid differences. In a lot of cases, like especially in early recovery, it is very necessary to keep those borders up and to not talk to those people and to distance yourself from them. Extremely necessary, but it's not easy. It's not easy. It freaking hurts, and they don't see it from that side. A lot of them see it as you just ditched, bro. You just cut and run. You ran away from your problems, or you just ditched us, like when we were buds and you're just gone, man. And I can see that. I can see that perspective. I can see why you would feel that way. But that's not at all where it's coming from. This is just a matter of, I'm trying to get my own freaking air mask on before I help others. I can see that this plane is going down and I am freaking trying to prepare myself, bro. Like, I got to protect me. If I ain't good, nobody's good. And the things we do in our recovery help so many more people than just us. They really do. It helps your family heal. And thank God, through just by example of you stepping away from that life of drugs, a lot of people will do the same. Some of them with no coaxing, no messaging, no freaking hands out needed. They just see you doing better and they go, holy shit, if he could quit these fucking drugs, maybe I can. Or if she can quit these drugs, maybe I can too. Because a lot of them seen us at our worst. They seen us when we were down and out and overdosing and going to get another bag when we had to, riding in a freaking jalopy ass car with warrants, with a freaking with a gun in the car, unregistered, with a tail light out, going to get a bag of dope. They seen us in those days, and now they see us doing what we're doing in recovery, and it kind of gives them that, you know what, maybe I could do this. Maybe this could work for me too. If that freaking guy can make it work, maybe I can too, And a lot of people need that example. A lot of people need that example, and you'd be surprised the small amount of encouragement it takes sometimes to get somebody to do better, to just find recovery. Like, you would think, like, it's so weird because some people, it takes fucking 14 times in rehab and freaking 12 overdoses and overnights in jail and prison sentences and all this other shit before they finally get clean. But then other people, all they friggin' need is to see somebody else that's making it work and hear somebody say, you can do this, bro. And all of a sudden their life explodes. It's just mind blowing sometimes, the differences in people and the differences in addictions and the differences in lifestyles. All of it is mind blowing for me. But all I can do is just keep living the best life that I can and keep trying to reach out to people and keep trying to help the next person and keep trying to live by example, because if they want it, it doesn't take, if a person actually wants recovery and is actually ready for it to happen, it doesn't take much at all to set them into this life. But if a person isn't actually freaking tired of it, they aren't actually done with that lifestyle, they don't actually see it as, a problem yet, there's nothing you can say. There's nothing you can do. They're going to do what they're going to do, So I got to just give it to God in most cases. Just give it to God and allow him to do the work. Let's see. Brandy, I find that sometimes we can't help those from our past. Sometimes it's a fresh face in recovery that has to help us, Maddie Jablonski. Understandable, that's for sure. But you just never know. You just never know. Mike, gotta run for now. Always a pleasure. Have a great day. Semper Fi. Thanks, good. Right on, Mike. Thanks for being here, bro. Angie, it is so hard to cut people off. I did that, and now most of them have passed away. And the guilt, ugh. The guilt, ugh, is right. It really does hurt, doesn't it? Let's see. Mike, P.S. Love that shirt. Where can I find one? I honestly don't know. My best friend got me this for Christmas last year, so I have no idea where you can find one, but it is a very nice shirt. I love this shirt. It's super comfy too. Oh, it's super comfy. It's like the same color as military shirts, but not the same fabric. A little more comfy. Let's see. All right, kept up with those good. Let's see. Deborah, some people from my past mean a lot to me. Amen. Amen. I can agree with that 100%. Just a lesson that I've kind of picked up here in my recovery, I was devaluing some people that actually did hold value because I was grouping them in with a bunch of people that didn't mean shit to me because I used with them, and then that got interpreted in my brain as anyone who I ever used drugs with is no good, and is just a friend, and never really respected me, never really loved me, never really cared, never really did any of that, and they all just kind of get lumped into this group of friends, when actually quite a few of them really did love me, and quite a few of them actually were pretty cool, and not all of them by any means, but there were the select few that really were cool guys and really were just hurting people who they were hurting on the inside. So that was why we ended up hurting each other. It was nothing personal. It was not because they didn't respect me. It wasn't because they didn't love me. It was because we were addicts. And so, yeah, there was a few people that came to my mind after my friend took his own life. I had quite a few other people that came into my mind that I was like, I've roped all those guys into this group and not talked to them in years because of that, so sent a few messages, haven't gotten many replies from it, but that's okay too, it's trying to keep my side of the street clean and trying to do the right thing from my end, because I don't want to feel this way again. I don't want to feel like maybe I should have messaged him, maybe I should have talked to him, and now he's gone. And he was one of those dudes that totally was a really good dude to me, and I threw him into that group of people that didn't mean shit because we used to get high together, and that wasn't right of me to do that in that case. Let's see. It's a nice shit, but I have no idea where you can get one. Nice, Angie. Fucking autocorrect got you. Zach, I've sadly learned even some of the most loved people who have a platter of support in front of them still can't be saved. I guess we just have to do our best and lead by example and pray for the best. Amen, Zach. Amen. And once upon a time, I made a whole video about it, about if a man is stuck in a hole and he has a ladder with him, but if he doesn't utilize the ladder, then he'll still stay in the hole. You can have the blessings, you can have the perfect way to get out of what you're in, but if you don't actually use it, it doesn't mean shit. And I even take that to the step of, counting your blessings. Like, it's great to count your blessings, but it's better to utilize your blessings, because that same man in that hole with the ladder, if every day he wakes up and he thanks God for his ladder, oh, thank you, Lord, for this ladder, but he never actually puts his feet on it and steps on it, he'll still stay in the hole. Counting your blessings isn't enough. You got to utilize your blessings. I mean, I had a supportive family. I had the winning hand in poker, man. I was dealt a winning hand right out the gate. And problem was, I didn't know how to play poker. If you don't know how to play poker and they deal you the best hand in the world, but you don't even know what you're looking at, so you're throwing cards away and trading out stuff, and you don't even know that you started out with the freaking awesome hand, man, and you gave it up, and now you got a bullshit hand that you picked yourself, so yeah, I was dealt a pretty damn good hand, and I just didn't even know it, didn't take advantage of it, and now went through 13 years of active addiction, but very thankful for the almost 6 years of recovery that I have now. We're walking the right line, and this very peaceful, serene life that I've built for myself. Wasn't always this way. In the beginning, it was still pretty chaotic. Because chaos kind of just trails along with you into your recovery for quite a while. But nowadays I still have problems, but I don't have that chaos. I don't have that panic. I don't have that anxiety that I used to have. It's gotten so much better, and I'm very comfortable and very happy with my life right now. So, all right, guys, I'm going to get out of here for today. Thanks for hanging out with me this morning. This afternoon, for the supporters, I am going to be trying to do a live video this afternoon in the supporter group. We're going to get together, hopefully, if people got some time, get together and come up with some questions for Jesse Crossan, our guest on Sunday. So if anybody wants to become a supporter, if that's something you'd like to participate in, you can hit that little green badge at the bottom of the screen there, sign up to become a supporter. It's only $4.99 a month, and then come hang out with us. All right, guys, I will see you guys a little later. Until then, stay happy, stay healthy, and stay clean.